Hello amigos, RadiShineAmigo here, welcome back to play Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Mega Drive. Now we're in Labyrinth Zone. Fun fact, this was originally going to be the second zone of the game. And Marble Zone was originally going to be here. And thank God it wasn't the second zone, otherwise that would have been painful. Yeah, this is kind of like Sonic 1's level from hell. Not for me anymore, because I've grown a liking to this level, you know. I liked playing this level now. But, yeah, when I was younger, this was like the hardest thing ever. And I think a lot of people can agree with me there. It's just, basically, when you're underwater, Sonic moves slower, and he, after a while, he will start, to drown. And you want to collect those little bubbles. The bubbles are those little things where, I got it earlier and Sonic made some noise around, whatever he made. I really like that noise, but, yeah, that's the whole reason why I made that noise, to be perfectly honest. I like that noise. What you want to do here is jump on this platform to get to the switch. Why am I breathing? We're underwater still. Hold your breath! Wait, no, I can't do commentary if I hold my breath. No. But, yeah, the 2 rings there, if you need a special stage. You know, you get 50 rings now. I showed you how to get 50 rings. Fantastic. But, yeah, the, countdown will go down, and once it hits 0, Sonic will drown, and you'll lose a life. It's not fun, believe me. My childhood agrees. It's not fun. Yeah. I really like the music in this level as well. It sets the atmosphere for it pretty nicely, and it's really catchy. Seriously. But did I explain? Yeah, I did explain that, didn't I? Yes. Okay. Oh, and there's the music again. Hey, yeah, the water goes downwards, so, you know, this bit, it's easier. You got these little, blocks, they look like cheese. I'm gonna call them cheese. Not to be confused with, this certain character later on in the Sonic universe. But, yeah, those blocks of cheese, you can actually, they take you upwards, and, you know, you can reach higher parts of the level, like I showed you just there a second ago. You also have these weird wires with blocks on them, and you know, they take you along to different sections of the level. You can also find switches every now and then, and they change the direction of the platforms. So say they're moving over to the right, but no, you want to go over to the left. You press the switch and go back on them, and you'll start going over to the left. Simple as that. Now, as you see, the cheese blocks just went up to the top. Make sure you're not standing on a cheese block while they go to the top, because otherwise you will get crushed. And trust me, you don't want to be you don't want to be killed by cheese. Seriously. Eggman knows how's it. No, Eggman knows how's it. Talking. What is that? Eggman knows what it's like to be killed by cheese. Thus proven in Sonic Advance 2. I'll show you that later on. I also like how when you beat the end of the level, you have a little goal sign, and it spins around and has Sonic giving you the peace sign with like this big happy face. You know, it's awesome. You know, I really like Sonic's attitude in this game. I like his personality in, you know, most of the games, to be honest. There's one game in particular where I don't really like his attitude, but I don't really want to go onto that game, so I'm not going to talk about it. We're invincible underwater, but you still need bubbles. Yeah. Just thought I'd let it out there. But, something I should also mention, actually, yeah, I guess I should mention it. For those of you who are thinking, wait a minute, Sonic's a hedgehog. Hedgehogs can swim. Why isn't he swimming? That's simple. Yuji Naka thought that hedgehogs couldn't swim, so he made it so Sonic couldn't swim in this game. And thus, he couldn't swim in any other game. mean, I think he does get close to swimming in some games, but I don't think he ever learns how to actually swim. Even though he's a hedgehog and hedgehogs know how to swim. But I don't really mind too much because it also made some really fun levels in future Sonic games. One of them being Hydro City Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And yeah, I personally don't mind the water gimmicks of the Sonic series, you know. I like the fact that he doesn't swim. It's like in Mega Man, which I may get around to let's playing those games, but in the Mega Man games, Mega Man doesn't swim. Basically, with Mega Man, it kind of has some weird like space gravity gimmick where if you hold down the jump button, he'll jump higher. But anyway, this is Sonic the Hedgehog, not Blue Bomber, so we're the blue blur, not the blue blum. We're the blue blur, not the blue bomber. But yeah, whoa. Yeah, try saying that 10 times fast. But yeah. Yeah, there we go, extra life. But yeah, as you can tell, I've got quite a few extra lives, so you know, I wasn't lying when I said I was showing you how to get quite a few lives in this game. Now, even though I'm showing off the 100% ending, I will be also showing off the non-100% ending and a few other extras here and there in some other videos. Now, something you will notice, like right there, I jumped up and a little banner came up with some numbers on it. I don't know why that happens, but basically they just give you points for letting you like jump around the basically behind the goalpost. The only thing is though, the points on there are times by 10, so like the numbers will say 100, but they will only give you 10, and there's one that says 1,000, and that only gives you 100 points. So bear that in mind, you know. Take that into thought. While you're on this little water slide, if you're jumping, don't press anything on the D-pad, because otherwise you won't actually go anywhere. You need to make sure that you're not pressing anything on the D-pad to actually be launched the furthest. There's a lot of rings here, so don't press that switch just yet, because you know you might want to get those rings. You may need a life, so you know getting extra lives is fun. You know, gotta get them all. Yeah. There is actually new badniks in this level as well, something that I should really, you know, come across. You had those weird little drilly type robots. They have like some tank wheels on the bottom of them and a drill coming out their nose. They're called Borobot. But I quite like them. They usually stick in the ground and you see their drill nose pointing out the ground. Basically, as soon as they come out the ground, they'll jump up, so just jump or roll as soon as you're encountering one of them. Right now we're about to drown, that's always fun. But you also have these shark type pinky robots. They're called Jaws. They have a very creative name, they're called Jaws. And yeah. You also, actually, something I should mention, I'm not gonna go over the Japanese names for all these robots, but I really like the Japanese name for Jaws. Is in Japan, this guy's called Puku Poku, or Puku Poku, or whatever. P-U-K-U, and then P-U-K-U again. I quite like that name. And then you also have the Orbnauts, are these weird orb creatures with spikes around them, and they launch those spikes at you. They're called Orbnauts. I quite like that name, to be honest. It's got a cool name. There's that drill guy that I was talking about. And again, his name is called Borobot. What? Now, I don't know why, but this little bit here, you know, earlier I was kind of getting sucked through them. I don't know why that one doesn't suck you through it. I think it's the only one that does that. Now, if you're actually fast enough, you know, you can actually run over these gaps, which is pretty cool. That's Orbinal. I don't know why I jumped over him, but maybe I knew I wanted to show him off a little bit more. I was just like, when I'm going to commentate over this later, I'm going to make sure I talk about him a little bit more. Jump over him instead. So yeah. And there's a countdown going down again, telling us we need bubbles, need air. It's like, yo, dude, you're running out of air. You need bubbles. And yeah. I do like the design of this level, the way it looks, you know. It's all like ruins or ancient-y. I don't know how to explain it, but it's all, I guess it's all rocky. Yeah, they are kind of like ancient, rocky, underwater place. I don't know. But yeah, I also like you have these weird lionish, tigerish type things coming out the sides. Some of them will shoot little pellets out, some of them will splurt water out. And you also have these like birds, and, well, not birds, but these little pictures in the background, and they kind of look like birds. I don't think they are supposed to resemble anything, but you know what, I'm gonna look it up just in case. You never know. But there will be a boss that we're going into in a second, and this boss is very different to the other Eggman bosses. This time you don't need to hit him 8 times. Instead of hitting him 8 times, you just run away. And oh, he runs away. You have to chase after him. Now, yeah. If you're actually fast enough in this level, you can actually beat this without the water touching you. Because basically the water's constantly rising, and, you know, obviously, you want to make sure that you don't touch the water, otherwise it makes the level somewhat harder. Not too hard, but just a little bit harder, because, you know, you're slower, and, you know, you have to keep cautious of like, drowning and stuff. Trivia. And now we're at Starlight Zone. This zone's pretty sweet. I like this zone. It doesn't really. I don't think it says anything about the, you know, the pictures on the little stones. I'm not gonna look it up anymore just because, you know, I'm kind of doing a let's play here, guys. But yeah, if you do what I did there, you know, the stairs kind of reset and you get an extra life. That's all good. But if anybody knows what those ruins are supposed to look like, they're supposed to resemble, then go ahead and tell me, because I'd love to know. I'd love to know more about one of my favourite games of all time. Now, there's a few more badniks in this level. Should probably go over their names. You have... Or the green ones are still called Orbinauts. They have different names in Japan. I guess maybe I'll go over their Japanese names. But you also have these weird bomb-like robots. They're called bombs. They're called Bomb. Very creative name. Yeah, I'll just quickly go over their Japanese names, I guess. How much time? We got a little bit of time. So, Motorbug. Motorbug in Japan are called Motora. Buzzbomb are called Beaton. Splats. Well, okay, I just went over some other one which I was going to explain a little bit later on. But basically, there was a beta badnik called Splat. He looks like a blue bunny rabbit. I'm going to post a link to what he looks like in the description if you want to know what he is. In England, his English name is called Splats. His Japanese name is called Splat. So, just for those of you who wanted to know. Again, link in the description if you want to see what it looks like. Basically a blue bunny. But you have a Chopper. He looks. His name is in Japan is called Bata Bata. Crabmeat, Gani Gani, Neutron, Melion, Caterkiller, Nai or Now. Yeah, Now. You got Batbrain is Bassaran, Roller Armor, Spikes, Yadrin, Burrabot, Mogarin, Jaws, Puku Puku, I told you that one earlier. Orbinaut is Unidus, and the green one in this level is called Uni Uni, and the bomb is called Bomu. And there's one other badnik we haven't encountered yet, but I think you encounter him in the last stage, so I'll leave it till then. But yeah. This stage is more of a relaxed stage, you know. It's mainly about speed. A lot of people really like this zone. I like it. It's not my favourite zone in the game though, you know. Probably like, I don't know. This isn't the zone that comes to mind straight away when I think Sonic the Hedgehog. I think of most of the other zones beforehand. This is least memorable in my opinion, but that's just me. I know a lot of people will like this zone, and if you like it, well, I like it as well, but whatever. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.